So namaste, it's 8 o'clock. It's really my dinner time, but I'm sacrificing my dinner time because we're going to talk on yoga, and it's not bhoga, it's bhog. Yeah, योग और भोग की बातें करेंगे. योग पहले, उसके बाद भोग, बिकॉज 8:30 बजे खाना सर्व होता है. Right? So I'll begin with a story. So visualize a mountain of stone covered with snow. Nothing is moving. It's still. On top of this mountain sits an ascetic. He is sitting firmly on the ground. He's covered with ash. His eyes are shut. Nothing moves around him. There is no heat. All the heat is contained inside his body. Nothing grows. Nothing grows. No vegetation. There is nothing to eat. But it doesn't matter, because the ascetic is not hungry. भूख नहीं है. क्योंकि भूख नहीं है, भोग की आवश्यकता नहीं है. There is no need for plants, there is no need for animals, there is no need for fruit, there is no need for vegetable, there is no need for anything. This is Mount Kailas. This is how Mount Kailas is described. A mountain of stone covered with snow, where there is no vegetation, where there is no life. Nothing moves, everything is still. The ascetic is smeared with ash. He wants nothing, he is hungry for nothing. And therefore, when you look at images or poster art of Shiva, you will see Shiva sitting over there, and sometimes it's a family photograph. So there is Mummy, Papa and their two sons. Each one of them has their respective vehicle, because everybody believes in individualism and independence and autonomy. Shiva has his bull, Shakti has a tiger, Ganesha has his rat, Kartikeya has his peacock. We see this poster everywhere, but it's a very peculiar poster. Because if a child were to see this picture, he will look at the bull, Nandi, and says, Mummy, नंदी खाता क्या है? क्योंकि कैलाश पर्वत में कुछ नहीं है. There is no vegetation, there is no vanaspati. What does Nandi eat? Why does it look so healthy? It should be starving. And the mother basically says, shut up. तुमको हमारे शास्त्र समझ में नहीं आता. Whenever somebody tells you आपको शास्त्र समझ में नहीं आता, it basically means they have never read the shastras. And that applies to most Gurujis that I have met. Because we don't really observe the image carefully. He, on a mountain of stone covered with ice, where there is no vegetation, there is a bull which looks healthy. Next to the bull is a healthy looking tiger. What do tigers eat? Bulls. But the tiger doesn't look hungry and doesn't look at the bull saying, मैं आ रही हूँ. There is no bloodlust in its eyes, and the bull doesn't seem to be scared of the tiger. Completely happy. Come, let's play. Around Shiva's neck there is a snake, a nag, a cobra. What do cobras eat? They eat rats. Ganesha has a rat, but the rat doesn't look too disturbed. And who eats a cobra? Peacocks. And the peacock is with Kartikeya. And you look at this picture and you suddenly see predator, prey, predator, prey. You see the food chain. You see the carnivorous animal, the herbivorous animal. There is no herb for the herbivorous animal, and the carnivorous animal is not interested in eating the herbivorous animal, because there is no hunger. भूख ही नहीं है. अगर भूख नहीं है तो लक्ष्य नहीं है. Because you have no desire for food, what is your motivation in life? Look at plants. Why do plants grow? They are moving. They're growing not because they want to show off their leaves. Plants grow because they are hungry for food. They're going towards the sunlight. The roots are going towards water. Everything is seeking food. वो अन्न के पीछे दौड़ रहा है. Every animal is moving towards food. The cow is going towards the pasture. The deer is going towards the grass. The birds are flying towards wherever there is food. The flamingos come to Bombay in search of food, like migrants who come to Bombay in search of food, like Indians who go to Dubai in search of food. Movement happens because there is a desire, there is hunger. Life is about hunger. The difference between an inanimate object and an animate organism is hunger. जहां भूख होता है वहीं पे प्राण होता है, वहीं पे जीवन होता है. So the difference between ajiva and sajiva is the presence or absence of hunger. पत्थर को भूख नहीं लगता, खाना खिलाने की कोई आवश्यकता नहीं, लेकिन पेड़ को भूख लगता है. And to remind you of it, in the house there is a tulsi plant which needs to be given water every day. वो मंदिर वाले मूर्ति को खाना मत दो, कुछ नहीं होने वाला, लेकिन अगर तुलसी को पानी नहीं दिया वो मुरझा जाएगी. And that makes you aware of life. And yet the greatest God, देवों के देव महादेव, is not hungry. उन्हें भूख नहीं है, वो भोग की आशा नहीं रखते. And that is when you understand what yoga is in a very practical sense. Yoga is when you have outgrown hunger. जब आपको भूख नहीं लगता. शिवजी को भूख नहीं लगता. He is called the great destroyer. What does he destroy? He doesn't destroy structures. He destroys hunger. वो भूख को मिटा देते हैं. कामंतका, the destroyer of desire. When we are taught philosophy, when we study Buddhism, when we study philosophy, we keep using the word desire. We don't use the word hunger, bhook, which is far more primal and raw. He who destroys hunger is the yogi. Yoga is the process by which you destroy hunger. देवों के देव महादेव को भूख नहीं लगती. चूंकि भूख नहीं लगती वो देवों के देव बन गए, क्योंकि देवताओं को भूख लगता है. द गॉड्स आर हंग्री. जब आप देवताओं का आवाहन करते हो तो उन्हें भोग देना पड़ता है, नैवेद्य देना पड़ता है. जब तक उनको भोग नहीं चढ़ाओगे, जब तक स्वाहा नहीं दोगे, तब तक वो आपको तथास्तु नहीं देंगे. इंद्र हैज टू बी गिवन समथिंग. You have to give the ghee. You have to make the offering. Unless you make the offering to the devata will give you nothing. पहले नैवेद्य दो, उसके बाद फलस्तुति करो. You first give me something and only then ask for something else. Indra wants to be invited to the Yagyashala and be offered Soma. And only when he's offered and he's happy will he give you whatever you want. Dhanadhanya Sampatti. He has everything. देवताओं और महादेव के बीच में यही फर्क है. महादेव wants nothing. If you don't want anything, how can I invite you to a Yagyashala? Because you want nothing. Daksha Prajapati hates Shiva. Because उसको यज्ञ में आवाहन कैसे करूं, उसको तो भूख नहीं लगता. वो आएगा क्यों? वो पहाड़ के ऊपर बैठा हुआ है, तपस्या कर रहा है. योग का मतलब केवल इतना है, the ability to outgrow our hunger. Hunger for what? Hunger for wealth, hunger for power, hunger for status, hunger for knowledge. Hunger, hunger, hunger. Hunger is hunger is hunger. Some hunger is material, some hunger is metaphorical. Somebody is hunger for meaning, मुझे अर्थ चाहिए. Somebody is hungry for value. But we are hungry. In the management world, we don't use the word hunger. We use words like ambition. Because ambition sounds so nice. You must be ambitious. हिंदी में बोलो भूखा रहो. Management books are written, right? Stay hungry, stay foolish. Because hunger, craving for hunger is celebrated. Bhaksha. I want more, I want more, I want more. We use the word consumer and consumption. भोग की चीजें हैं ये. मुझे खाना है. I want to eat, I want to consume. I'm a consumer. It's a consumer economy. We are consuming and consuming and consuming all the time. हम देवता हैं. We want what is wealth. We want to consume because our appetite is insatiable. We celebrate people with vast amount of wealth. So much wealth they don't know what to do with it. But it doesn't stop them from earning more. Because ambition is good. Hunger, 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 hunger is what the description of the world is. भोग. क्योंकि भूख जब लगती है तुम्हें भोग चाहिए. इंद्रियों को भोग चाहिए. I am hungry for entertainment. I am hungry for roti, kapda, makan. I'm hungry for property. I'm hungry for power. I'm hungry for more and more and more and more and more. It never ends. Because if you say, I am satisfied, you're a loser. What is this? You're satisfied? How can you be satisfied? फिर जिएंगे कैसे सर? कुछ तो करना चाहिए ना लाइफ में. I am hungry, hungry, constantly hungry, hungry for life. You fight for life on your deathbed, even if you have lived a fully satisfactory existence. We are hungry for life, we are hungry for pleasure, we are hungry for flavors, we are hungry for color, we are hungry for smell, we are for aromas, for fragrances, for experiences. Bhog, 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 bhog. Until then Shiva comes and says, finish it all. Yoga. No hunger. And this becomes a confrontation between Brahma, the creator, because he creates hunger, and Shiva, who destroys hunger. This is the meaning of the word creator and destroyer. It is not someone who creates the world. It is someone who creates hunger, which is the propellant of everything else. If you go to a planet without life, it is essentially a planet without hunger. When you go to Mars or you go to Venus or you go to Saturn and you say there is no life there, it means there is no hunger. There is no organism which seeks food. Humans are constantly seeking more and more and more and more and more. And that is why the nature is being destroyed, because our hunger is insatiable. And so much so that people have to be forced to share a part of their wealth. So you'll have corporates have to give back to society. Nobody says give to society. Why give back to society? Because the prerequisite, first you have to take. And you take. Nobody talks about corporate should give. No, give back. This word back reveals how much we value consumption. We celebrate people whose businesses are 10,000 crores, 20,000 crores, 100,000 crores. कितना भूख है यार. And it's not enough, because when you look at them, my friend told me a very funny thing. He said, Devdutt, you look at startup guys, they all look like geeks. Then when they become successful, they'll join the gym. And then they become fit. Because even if you can't achieve the target at work, you can achieve targets in the gym. And then they said they look like Lex Luthor, because they all shave their heads. They wear tight t-shirts. They have beautiful bodies. They're frustrated at work because as CEOs, they're not achieving their targets, but they're hungry, right? So they've achieved the physical target, but not the financial target. So what do you do at frustrated? They'll start having affairs at the age of 40. And then they go through divorce with gigantic settlements. Because everybody is hungry for something. If you just start looking at these stories with the lens of hunger, you suddenly realize, ye to bhogi, 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 yogi kahan pe hai? And most yogis in India seem to be interested in making $1 million businesses. Because bhook lagta hai. The hunger is celebrated in us. We don't realize it. When you go to the temple, we are told, don't go with an empty hand. On an aarti plate, we carry, what do you carry in an aarti plate? You look at it carefully and you analyze it. It's roti, kapda or makan. Because what do you offer the god? Roti. You'll always carry something to eat. Sweets, some sweet, some fruit, some sugar, honey. खाने के लिए कुछ देंगे. Kapda. You will take a piece of cloth, a chunari, a cotton thread, representative of kapda. और मकान कैसे दिखाओगे? You will have deep lamps. Lamps celebrate a settlement. रोटी, कपड़ा और मकान लेके हम जाते हैं. उसके बाद दामन फैला के बोलते हैं. And you'll see the richest people in India doing that in front of the temples. Give me more. You understand I don't have everything, right? You see film stars with 100 successful films, still on a Thursday night will go to Siddhivinayak and say, one more success. And they really look hungry, because that's the expression you're supposed to have when you go in front of God. You'll never say, I'm satisfied. Bahut ho gaya, bat ho gaya. Don't give me more. Bhog is celebrated. And yoga, and this tension between Brahma and Vishnu, Brahma and Shiva is central to understanding Indian philosophy. When Buddha says desire is the cause of suffering, he didn't use the word desire. The word he used is tanna, thirst. But of course, when it was translated in English, we gave it a superior word, desire. We forget that the Buddha was speaking to ordinary people, farmers, herdsmen, merchants. They won't understand these words. You use simple word. Bhook, pyas, desire, kam, not vasana, kam, bhog. And so you give up food. You are not interested in food. So Buddha leaves Yashodhara and becomes the Sakya Muni. The prince, Siddhartha becomes Sakya Muni, he becomes the Buddha. He leaves her. वो भोग की दुनिया को छोड़ के योग की तरफ जाता है. ये भोग की दुनिया है. बीवी, बच्चे, राज्य, सब कुछ छोड़ के मैं योग की तरफ जा रहा हूं. This is the world of yoga, of the ascetic, of the hermit. But then a voice comes from here saying, you have destroyed your hunger, but what about my hunger? Who takes care of my hunger? Who is interested in Yashodhara's hunger? Who satisfies her hunger? That's the question to ask. You have outgrown hunger, wonderful. But what about mine? I am not Mahadev. Who will satisfy my hunger? And that's the question that Shakti asks Shiva. तुम तो महादेव हो, तुमको तो भूख नहीं लगती. मुझे भूख लगा है, खाना दो. तुम भोगी नहीं हो, लेकिन भोग तो बन सकते हो. Will you feed me? Will you satisfy my hunger? Does my hunger matter? And this is when the story shifts dramatically, because the confrontation between Brahma and Shiva has taken a new turn, because the goddess has arrived. The goddess says, मैं भोग की वस्तु नहीं हूं, मैं भोगी भी हूं. I am not just the commodity that you consume that tempts you and that you can reject. I am also the consumer and you are my commodity. तुम मेरे भोग हो, मेरे भूख को कौन मिटाएगा? And this is when the tantric traditions rises in India, because tantra takes care of the tan, which is body. Mantra focuses on man. तो मन के लिए all the Buddha, Shiva, Digambara, all the hermits are going to the world of yoga, focusing on the mind. Chitta vritti nirodha. I want to unravel the knots of my mind and attain shunya and ananta and nirvana and kaivalya and moksha. Over here, somebody says, बहुत अच्छा बात है, लेकिन मेरे तन, what about my body? Feed me. Who will feed me? It is your responsibility to feed me. It is not your responsibility to be focused on your hunger, because my hunger also matters. The other matters. And once you start looking at hunger in this way, not just my hunger, but your hunger, the story shifts. That is the space in which the goddess comes. That is the space in which Vishnu comes. That is the space in which you have Avati Lokeshwara, or what is called Mahayana Buddhism. Because Avati Lokeshwara is one who looked below, looked down from the mountain at the common man saying, मुझे भूख लगी है, उनका रुदन सुनाई दिया. Their hunger is heard. And Avati Lokeshwara then stretches out his hands to feed the other. The other has to be fed. And so in art, the goddess sits on top of Shiva, because he is still, his Shava. She sits on top of him and says, no, you will be Shiva. You have to be the food that I will consume. That is why the goddess asks for blood, a metaphor for consumption. You have to feed me. It is not about consuming yourself or outgrowing your hunger. It is about indulging my hunger. Feed me. And now look at everybody around you who is hungry. You are a great yogi. You are not hungry. Feed me. And therefore Shiva, the Mahayogi, descends from Mount Kailas and comes down to the city of Kashi. On Mount Kailas, there is nothing, there is no life, nothing can be sustained. Kashi is where there is life. It is the world of bhog. This is where the bazaar is, where demand and supply and purchase happens. This is where the householder lives. This is where the river runs. This is where the fields are, the pastures are, the craftsmen live. This is the world of the Smashana Bhumi. This is where people die and are reborn, and they die and they reborn, and they're yearning for life. The Pitras are crying out, we want to be born so that we can consume again. The land of consumption, Banaras, Kashi, the land of musicians and artists, of rasa, of bhava, of bhog, of dancers and singers, of the nati, of the tawaif. The one who satisfies the hunger of your body. It's a very different world, because the one who is feeding is not hungry. So you have Annapurna over there cooking food. But who is she cooking for? Because the husband is not hungry. And Shiva is Bhikshatan, the beggar. Why is he begging if he is not hungry? He is feeding the other. The Bhuta, the Preta, the Pisacha. He's the Kotwal. He's guarding. But if he wants nothing, he has nothing to lose, then what is he protecting? He is protecting the property of the other. It is about whose hunger are you concerned about. When Sri Krishna comes down to earth and is doing the Maharasa, he's dancing with Radha, whose hunger is he concerned about? I remember reading this Bollywood song, Tu kare to ras leela, main karu to character deela. I read the line and I said, the poet has never understood Vaishnavism. उसे कृष्ण का ज्ञान नहीं है. He's one of those अमर चित्रकथा variety, उधर तक ही अटक गए. Because if you see a man and woman dancing, nobody asks the question, who is satisfying whose hunger? In a relationship, who exists for whom? Who is the commodity and who is the consumer? भोग कौन और भोगी कौन? क्या शिव शक्ति का भोग ले रहे हैं या शिव ने अपने आप को शक्ति का भोग बनाया है? ये निर्गुणी होता है, ये बताया नहीं जाता, ये समझना चाहिए, क्योंकि सगुण रूपी में दर्शन करना चाहिए. The goddess is always sitting on top of the god, both in Buddhist art and in Hindu art. In the tantric paintings, the goddess is always on top. She is taking. She is not giving. He is learning to give because he doesn't know how to give. He is being told other people's hunger matters. Yashodhara's hunger is valid. Don't delegitimize it. Shakti's hunger matters. Radha's hunger matters. Satyabhama's hunger matters. The others' hunger matter. That is why when you have the Apsaras coming down on earth, you have Menaka the Apsara, and Vishnu also takes the form of an Apsara called Mohini. But Menaka and Mohini are not doing the same function. Menaka tapasya bhang kar rahi hai. Mohini tapasवी को भोग का ज्ञान दे रही है कि भैया तू अगर भोग नहीं देगा दुनिया कैसे बढ़ेगी आगे, दाम्पत्य सुख कहां से आएगा. The relationship is not about me being commodity and you being the consumer. It is sometimes I consume you and sometimes you consume me. You feed me and I feed you. I satisfy you and you satisfy me. I exist to make you happy because I have outgrown my happiness. But I also realize you get pleasure when you feed me. And therefore I enjoy consuming what you serve me. क्योंकि परोसने भी मजा आता है, खाने में मजा आता है, परोसने भी मजा आता है. तो श्री कृष्ण कहते हैं जब तुम्हें भूख लगेगा मैं खाना परोसूंगा, और जब तुम खाना परोसोगे तब मैं उसका भी आनंद लूंगा. The joy of giving and receiving, not giving back. This is not ऋण से मुक्ति, the burden of obligations. You fed me, therefore I will feed you. That is the world of Brahma. ऋण से मुक्ति प्राणा. I want mukti from all the ऋण so that I'll get moksha. श्री कृष्ण से मुझे मोक्ष नहीं चाहिए, मुझे अवतरित होना है. I want to come back because there are hungry people on earth. Avati Lokeshwara comes down and says, निर्वाण छोड़, भूखा है, भूख उसकी मिटाओ और उसे सिखाओ क्या सुख मिलता है दूसरों के भूख मिटाने में. It is a very different vocabulary which we are not taught. We are taught to see Maharas, where the man is the predator and the woman is the prey. The language is of violence, not of nourishment, of consumption. We are not nourishing the other. We are consuming nature. We have stopped nourishing nature. And now nature says it's time to pay back. And the goddess has spread her tongue and says, your blood is tasty. Satisfy my thirst.